YouTube, Intuitive Edge here. Today I would like to look at the global ransomware that's been going around, that big cyber attack that's been affecting various countries, various businesses, governments, hospitals. I basically want to look at, who is behind it, what's happening with it right now, and where's it going, what's going to happen, and maybe we'll throw in an advice card and see what people can do to protect themselves. As we know, basically just be careful what you click on, but we're gonna look at this a little bit more in depth and find out what's going on with this whole cyber attack and kind of who are the players behind it, so to speak. So I'm going to shuffle up the cards, and we're going to look at what's known as the ransomware global cyber attack. Get the sharp cards all shuffled up here. Give me just a minute. Global ransomware cyber attack. And we're going to do the 3-column spread again. Who's behind it and why? What's going on with it? This is good. All right, so we're going to cut the deck. All right, global ransomware. Okay, so this will be who's behind it, what's happening with it right now, and what's coming, what happens next. Okay, so interesting. All right, we've got the Queen of Cups, Lady's Mantle. That's the name of the herb. Again, this is using the Herbal Tarot. It combines meanings of sacred herbs with the tarot deck. It's a really cool deck, in my opinion. So we've got the Queen of Cups. This to me feels like it's a group, not just one, obviously, not just one person. It feels like it's a group of people. And it feels like they are overseas from here. We're in the, it feels like it's overseas, somewhere overseas. But they have ties into different countries. It could be, what I'm feeling is it could be like the group is loosely associated with each other. So like the group is like a main group, but it feels like they have ties with people in several countries. So it's not just one group in one location. I feel like they're associated, but they're kind of spread out. Like they have a contact over here or over there. So it's kind of a loose, like a network of sorts. It feels to me that I get this overseas feel to it, but that they have ties to different countries and different lands. Okay, I don't know if I'm getting any more on that, but that's the basic gist of it. It does feel like there are men and women. It's kind of a group thing. I feel like it feels like they get a cut share, like whatever money that they extort from people. It's like they divide it up. Like there's one person that like he's kind of like the ringleader, but I feel like there's a way they divide that money up between everybody, and it also they're treating it almost like a business. They're using it to fund their operations as well as to pay their people. It looks like it's pretty lucrative right now. I do feel like there's some people, I see like a dark-haired female. She feels like she's a little like she feels like well, there's a little bit of fear in there of like getting caught, and this female is a little concerned. She might be the person that is kind of like the scout or the lookout. Maybe her job is to make sure that, you know, the bases are covered, and, you know, the basically you clean the trail behind you kind of thing. That's kind of her job, but she's really focused on making sure they don't get caught, or finding ways to keep what they're doing, you know, one step ahead of investigative law enforcement type of thing. They're and so far they're doing like, I see like they're like pattern, like zigzag, like law enforcement's on their trail and they're zigging this way, and so law enforcement is like, God, where'd they go? Okay, we go over here. We're trying to. They're on their tail. I feel like it feels like they are being tracked, and it's probably just a matter of time before they're caught. But that's a big concern of this one lady. I see her. She's got dark hair. It's kind of short, straight, black. And again, if you hear a meow, it's my cat. Okay, so next we've got the, oh God, that's just sticking with me, like something with that group. Before I go on, let me see if there's, how many are in that group. I want to say like, I don't know, it's a core. I would say between 6 and 12, maybe. Anyway. All right, we're gonna move on. So this is kind of who's behind it. So what's going on right now? Okay, so we've got the Page of Swords. This card is all about keeping your head straight. It's keeping above the fray, being mentally quick, mentally alert, and that is again, I'm seeing that girl almost in this picture even, which is interesting. They are running. I feel like right now they are really running. They've been able to get away with quite a bit, but they're getting closed in on. I feel like law enforcement is making some inroads, and they're again, law enforcement. I don't know. It's like they're being tracked. I don't know. Probably there's many different quote unquote law enforcement that are tracking these people. I mean, there's governments tracking them. There's probably different type of investigative outfits tracking them. So, you know, that's what I mean by a general broad term of law enforcement. I just mean people that are tracking them, trying to figure out, you know, how to stop them. This feels like, wow. I just sense that there's like this really strong, like being mentally alert, mentally aware, but it's also I feel like they're really having to work hard at cutting, how do you say this? Cutting the tracks that are left behind them, or somehow cutting out the trail that they're leaving. It's like you have to okay, I don't know anything about, you know, these in-depth works. I'm not a computer scientist. I'm not an IT person that depth. So I'm just going to describe what I see, and then hope that, you know, maybe some of you, if you guys are more articulate than me in the cyber world, you might be able to make sense of what I'm trying to say. But basically what I'm seeing is these people have to go back a little bit and try to like cut their or like cover their tracks. But if they go back too far, it's almost like they could tip people off as to where they're at. So they have to cover, but they can only go back so far before they have to just cut and run and keep going. I hope that makes sense. Honestly, I hope that makes sense. All right, so oh man, okay, that was weird. All right, so yeah, I just feel like they're covering their tracks, but they have to like cut and run. Okay, all right, so what happens next? Let's see. Um, suspended person. This is like the hanged man. That could, hanged man. That could be literal. They get caught. I think they will get caught. Um, but it feels like they're. It feels like it. Okay, I do think they're gonna get caught. They're gonna get caught in their own web that they in their own trap that they've laid. You lay a trap like that for others, and what does the old proverb say? You fall into the pit you create for someone else. It's kind of like that. They're gonna mess up, and it just feels like though that I get this feeling of like that somebody gets snared out of it, and it kind of just like fizzles out. It like it and I'm trying to ask to see if are all of the people going to get caught from this, or is it like one? But I see it fizzling away. It's gonna fizzle out. I just get that feel. Okay, let's do some more cards. Let's get some more clarity on this, shall we? Okay, get some more clarity on what we're looking at here. Okay, again, who's behind it? We've got the Knight of Pentacles this time. I don't know if you can see that. Knight of Pentacles. And oh wow, it's upside down. That's really interesting. That's a real interesting. That's like a stagnant, stuck energy, but that's interesting because it's in the position of who's behind it, and it's just kind of an just like a really, it's a kind of an icky feeling I get with that card. Because typically when that card is reversed, it's really, yeah, wow. It's just this just icky energy as to who's behind it. It feels like, almost like robotic. What is that? Like mind controlled, robotic, kind of like almost non-human. So, okay, this is weird. It could be that this group of people is working with um like an AI system or some sort of robotic mastermind type of computer system. I guess. Again, forgive me for. I don't always know how to put into words what I see. It's just a feeling I get, and I'm trying to describe it. So maybe throw me a comment if you have some ideas on what that could mean. But I almost get like a non-human type of. So I think they're working with some sort of really sophisticated network of computer programming somehow, which makes sense. But it's got that weird feel to it, really weird feel to it. Okay, all right. So next we have, this is in the position of what's happening now. Now we had what, this person is staying mentally alert, really trying to like cover their tracks, cut and run. And then I've got this, the Ace of Cups. This is a new beginning of a relationship card. So what does that have to do with this cut and run type of thing? It feels like their group, because this is upside down. How many do I have upside down? This feels like it's putting a real strain on their membership, on their people, because they know that they're really having to be extra careful. It's like really stressful. That's what I feel with it. It's really stressful on this group because they're it's hard when you're on the run and you're trying to stay one step ahead of whoever's chasing you, and trying to catch up with you. Yeah, I'm thinking that's what it is. It's like, this is a kind of a stressful, they're being maxed out in terms of what's going on with their group emotionally. Okay. All right. So what happens next? I've got the Empress. Empress. Ew. Empress. So, and this is interesting because I've got these both are major arcana. So what I would say is what happens next is going to be the most important right now, what we're looking at. And what happens next could be, from here into the future. What's coming up, what's going to happen. I wouldn't put it out like way out in the future, but what's the next step? What's going to come about? And we had I felt like this getting snagged and eventually dissolving out. But then you've got the Empress, which this is in traditional tarot. This is a card of the female nurturing energy, loving mother type of feeling. But it's all she is. When she's reversed, usually it means to me, somebody needing to take care of themselves or take care of their own selves. So what does that have to do with what's happening next? And it is a major arcana, which is kind of interesting. I'm going to put some more cards out and get a little bit more clarity as to what that's up. And excuse my cat again. Buddy, you need to get down. Okay. You need to get down. Sorry about that. So, okay, interesting. So who's behind it? We have the Death card. The Death card. Okay. That's an interesting card. That is a card of rebirth and transformation. It very seldom means a literal somebody's going to die. I mean, I don't know, but generally that's it means it's a transformation. It's a cycle being completed. And it feels to me like this cycle that they're in, this is actually wrapping itself up. It is eventually going to, somebody's going to get caught. It's going to fizzle out. It's in its I think it's cycling itself out. I'll put it that way, which is good news. Hopefully that's what I'm seeing here. Then we have the 3. This is what's happening now. Oh, wow. You know what? This is interesting because we have this, cut and run, being careful, putting a lot of stress on people, and then this is the Builder card, but it's upside down. So I think what they're building is actually falling apart. It feels like their group or what they're trying to do is actually unraveling at the present. So, I don't know, I don't think it's going to happen overnight, but whatever this is, there are some components of it that are falling apart just because of, think about it. I mean, there's so many governments that are after them, so many, and who knows if it is an actual government entity behind it. But there are tons and tons of people after them. So it feels like it is coming apart. What happens next? It feels like, now again, this is an interesting card because we have the Empress, the nurturing, needing to take time out and take care of yourself, but it's crossed with a really positive card of basically just enjoyment. And what in the world is that about? Maybe you know what? Maybe that could be the overall picture of what's going to happen after this thing dissolves, is that it's going to really free, that is just, I might have to sit and think on that one for a little bit because that's fascinating. When I've got the 4 of Wands, that positive card in that same line that's talking about things fizzling out and having a break and a rest, and then things getting better. So maybe that's all it is that things will, that we'll be able to get a break from this cyber hack and get a rest from it. That I think it is going to, I think that people are on the run and they're going to be caught. That's what it feels like to me. And we're going to be able to be freed from it and get a break from it. And it feels like that could happen fairly soon. I would say if I was to put a timeline on it, I'm thinking August maybe. I don't know. Putting timeline, that's kind of hard to do, but I like to try to put a date on it. I don't know if I can do that or not. I don't know if that's really that's kind of what I'm feeling, but could be sooner than that. But it feels like we're gonna be okay. Like this is it's gonna fizzle out, and in fact, it may not even be. I mean, obviously, if you've been affected by it, that's like horrible for you, um, and that's terrible for anyone that's had to go through that. So hopefully, none of my listeners have. Hopefully, nobody has, because that would just be horrible to crash your hard drive and lose everything. So back your stuff up on the cloud, do other things like that to protect yourself. I'm going to flip the deck over, see what our top card it says. Chariot, moving forward. So it seems to me that this whole, I'm going to move these down a little bit. It feels like this is actually moving forward in a positive manner. So this is, again, it's something to be concerned about and worried about for yourself. Just protect yourself and your computer, back your stuff up. But overall, I think that this ringleader and the ring, I think itself is going to fizzle out, fall apart, and I think that we're going to be able to get the upper hand on this situation. So anyway, let's hope that's the case. That's what the cards seem to tell me. But anyway, that's it for now. I appreciate you listening. If you like the content, please subscribe, and talk to you soon. See you later. Bye.